Hey everyone, Viking back with Wild Dogs. Here's a little story bit. We'll let this play out. So this is a prequel to the surprise gem BIOLAB Wars. I have a couple videos on my channel about BIOLAB Wars, so check that out if you like this. This is the prequel to that game. It's about aliens coming to Earth, and you are a mercenary with a dog, and you got to take on the threat in this game. And this game is like a kind of a genre mixing retro arcade game. So it's like Contra. It's got vertical shooter levels. It's got horizontal shooter levels. It's got just motorbike levels. It's got everything. So it's a throwback love letter to the old games that I grew up with. So it's pretty cool. It reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid mixed with like hokey, 90s arcade game. So it's pretty sweet. And there's a bunch of different palettes. This is the original palette, but you can change with the left and right bumper buttons. You can change the palettes, and they have about 30 of them. But I'm keeping it with the original for this footage. So here's the first level. Kind of get you in. So it's like a shooter like Contra. You can shoot different directions. I just love these games. This is developed by Second Boss Studios, or Second Boss Games, and I got the BIOLAB Wars because it was like $1.99 in the store, and that game was awesome for the price and for what it was. It was just a really sweet retro throwback game. So when I found out about this Wild Dogs, it was on my radar, and I finally picked it up. So this is it. There's awesome boss fights in this game. Like, look at this. First level, you wreck a building, and it reveals the boss. I mean, this is just like a mini boss too. It's sweet. So it's all like, all the palettes are like, this is green, kind of like a Game Boy. There's black and white, blue and white, like just basically color schemes. It's not in full color, but that'd be cool if they did a patch with like, full color graphics. Kind of like BIOLAB Wars. BIOLAB Wars is like a Genesis, Super Nintendo looking color 8-bit thing. So there's different weapon pickups, like spread shot, boomerang, homing missiles. I think I switched to homing missiles, right now, so you can kind of don't really have to aim, which is nice. And it doesn't make the game too easy either. I mean, you still take hits because it's a slower rate of fire. Contra-like pickups float through the air. So there's like 5 levels, but they're pretty long. Each one, like this is still level 1, and I'm switching to we're switching to the helicopter now. So I've played a level, fought a mini boss, and I'm in a helicopter. This is all the first stage. So it's pretty cool. I like how it does this little genre swapping. And you get to play as the dog in some levels, where it's like you just kind of traversing through a level where you can't attack. There's a level where the dog gets in a mech suit, and you're like the dog piloting a mech suit. That's like super devastating. It's pretty sweet. There's just so much variety. And it's just good old fun if you like You know, if you like this kind of throwback stuff. I mean, these are like... I had a Game Boy when I was like in kindergarten or first grade. It was when it first came out, late 80s, early 90s. And this reminds me of, you know, playing games on that. So, kind of a cool little throwback as far as nostalgia for me. And there's nothing to, I mean, this isn't like a bullet hell, you know what I mean? It's kind of a shooter light, but that's okay, just, you know, for the fact that they change the perspective and change the genres, it keeps it fresh. So I haven't beat the game yet. I'm probably on like the 3rd stage, and I think I read there's 5 stages, it looked like, from the leaderboards. The 3rd stage is pretty hard, so I'm just trying to beat that. And you have 3 lives, and then you only get 3 continues. So it can be challenging if you get to the main boss with like 1 continue left. You really gotta strategically get through the first part of the stages. These lasers, man, these lasers are no joke. Got me. You might be better off just staying at the top or the bottom of the screen. So that was a little helicopter horizontal shooter stage. Do a boss fight here. This is the 1st stage boss, I believe. So the dog doesn't really do anything on these shooter levels. It just follows you, but then it gets its own levels as you go through. So glad I have the homing shot though. It's making it a lot easier. So there's a lot of good variety in this game. I think it's a hidden gem. It plays well. The gameplay is great. You know, you just have to memorize the patterns, stage patterns and stuff. And it should be good to go. It's not too bad. So what do you get? So I think it takes a good 10-15 minutes to get through one level because there's so many sections. And I'm just going to tack on a little bonus footage of the vertical shooter gameplay. This is in the 3rd level. It's like the beginning of the 3rd level. There's a cool little sequence. And then the boss is pretty cool on this level. So yeah, so this is Wild Dogs. You know, I'd say if this looks interesting to you, I would pick up BIOLAB Wars first and play through that. That's like $1.99 in the store, full price. So, and that's worth it. That's about 8 or 10 levels of Contra type action, and then move on to this Wild Dogs. It's the prequel to that BIOLAB Wars. So really, I guess you could play this first if you wanted, then go to BIOLAB Wars. And then I have another game I picked up by Second Boss called Savage Halloween, and that's another kind of Contra shooter like this, except it's all Halloween themed. You fight against like Halloween enemies, and the levels are all Halloween inspired. So that's another one to look out for if you like this and BIOLAB Wars. Savage Halloween is another one of their games, and I think that they have another game coming out soon. This game was dropped in 2023, so it's pretty new. But Second Boss is one of my favorite indie studios for these little throwback shooters. I think Second Boss, Panda Indie Studios has a lot of good shooters, you know. and just a lot of good creative games. So Panda Indie has some new ones coming out, and I talked to Matt, the guy that makes those games. That he is Panda Indie Studios. He is doing a new studio and has some new games coming out under that. I think it's Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is like a platform, almost like Mario, Super Mario 3D, the 3D one for 64. It's like that, except you play as like a taxi and you platform through the levels. And it looks pretty interesting, but that's on the horizon too. So yeah, Second Boss, they're up there. The games are cheap and they're fun. So hope you guys like this footage. I'll check you in the next video. Let me know what you think of this and if it looked fun to you. I'll let the rest of the footage play out. Catch you in the next video. Viking out of here. Bye.